What happens when rock rebels ditch the rules, fuse jazz with fairy tales, and turn albums into mind-blowing sagas? We're unraveling the 10 progressive rock masterpieces that didn't just break the mold, they shattered it, rocked millions, and still echo in arenas today. Picture this. It's the late 1960s, and rock music is about to get a seismic shakeup. The swirling, mind-bending psychedelia of Pink Floyd, the jazzy, unpredictable chaos of King Crimson, the soaring, classical majesty of Yes. They're all colliding to birth something wild and revolutionary. Progressive rock. This wasn't just music, it was a movement, pulling inspiration from dusty mythology books, sprawling literary epics, and deep philosophical musings. Think concept albums like The Who's Tommy or Pink Floyd's The Wall, sonic novels that rewrote what rock could be. Strap in for an epic ride through the most spine-tingling progressive rock albums that'll challenge your ears, spark your imagination, and yes, absolutely blow your mind. Ready? Let's go. Album number 1, Pink Floyd, Animals. First on our list is Pink Floyd's 1977 masterpiece, Animals, a snarling dystopian juggernaut that bites hard. Inspired by George Orwell's Animal Farm, this album splits society into pigs, the greedy elite, dogs, ruthless opportunists, and sheep, the mindless masses. Musically, it's a wild ride. David Gilmour's guitar prowls with bluesy menace, like in the 17-minute Dogs, where his solos twist from mournful to ferocious over Roger Waters' pulsing bass lines. Waters' vocals drip with cynicism, while Richard Wright's keyboards layer eerie atmospheric scents that feel like a storm brewing. The concept? A scathing critique of capitalism and human nature, stretched across 5 tracks that flow like a single brooding narrative. Recording was a saga. They holed up in their new Britannia Row studios, battling icy conditions and creative tensions as Waters took the reins. The iconic pig over Battersea Power Station cover shoot? A logistical nightmare. The inflatable pig broke free, drifting over London and spooking air traffic controllers. Success-wise, Animals hit big, peaking at number 2 in the UK and number 3 in the US, selling over 4 million copies worldwide. Pink Floyd rocked arenas like Madison Square Garden and London's Earl's Court on their 1977 In the Flesh tour, playing to over 200,000 fans across 55 shows. Critics raved. Rolling Stone called it brilliant but bleak, and though it didn't snag Grammys, its enduring popularity cements it as a prog titan. This is Pink Floyd at their most savage. But what happens when a New York punk steps into prog's wildest nightmare? Let's check it out. Album number 2, Genesis, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. Next up is Genesis' 1974 double album Odyssey, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. This is Peter Gabriel's final bow with the band, a surreal, sprawling tale of Rael, Puerto Rican street kid lost in a hallucinatory New York. Musically, it's a kaleidoscope. Tony Banks' mellotron and synths weave dreamy, cinematic textures, while Steve Hackett's guitar flits between delicate arpeggios and jagged stabs, like in Carpet Crawlers. Phil Collins' drums pulse with jazzy flair, and Gabriel's vocals shift from tender to unhinged, especially in the bonkers Here Comes the Supernatural Anesthetist. The concept blends urban grit with fantasy. Think Kafka meets Broadway, with nods to Greek myths and Freudian weirdness. Recording was pure chaos at Headley Grange. Gabriel, juggling a failing marriage and a Hollywood script gig, wrote lyrics in a frantic blur, sometimes improvising live as tensions boiled with the band. It paid off. The Lamb hit number 10 in the UK, sold over 2 million copies globally, and fueled a 102-show tour, rocking arenas like LA's Forum and London's Wembley Empire Pool to over 300,000 fans. Critics were split. Some hailed its ambition, others scratched their heads. But its cult status grew, earning a nod in prog lore. It's a bizarre, brilliant beast, but what if prog turned into a tongue-in-cheek marathon? Let's flip the script. Album number 3, Jethro Tull, Thick as a Brick.
I suppose we could be Johnny Cash if we tried really hard.
At number 3, Jethro Tull's 1972 gem, Thick as a Brick, takes the stage. Ian Anderson cooked up a single 43-minute track, a satirical jab at prog's pomp, posing as the work of a fictional kid, Gerald Bostock.
I may make you feel, but it can't make you think.
The music's a whirlwind. Anderson's flute pirouettes over folk melodies, then crashes into Martin Barr's heavy riffs, all tied together with John Evans' playful organ runs. It's a mix of medieval minstrel vibes, rock aggression, and jazzy detours, mocking the genre's excesses while nailing its complexity. The concept? A fake epic poem, complete with a faux newspaper sleeve, poking fun at everything from religion to rock pretension.
Yes. To be thick.
They recorded it in a frantic 2-week burst at Morgan Studios, with Anderson dreaming up the idea after critics slammed Tull as too prog. It soared, hitting number 1 in the US, number 5 in the UK, and selling over 1.5 million copies.
On his shoulders, and he pays himself in the night.
The 1972 tour rocked 40 arenas, from Chicago's Auditorium to London's Hammersmith, dazzling 150,000 fans with Anderson in a codpiece. Critics loved the wit. Melody Maker called it a masterpiece, and it's a prog fan favorite, no awards needed. It's clever and chaotic, but what if prog got darker and heavier? Let's crank up the intensity. Album number 4, King Crimson, Red. Number 4 brings King Crimson's 1974 powerhouse, Red. This is prog with a sinister edge. Robert Fripp's guitar slashes through with metallic fury, John Wetton's bass growls low, and Bill Bruford's drums pummel with jazzy precision. Starless builds from melancholy strings, thanks to guest cellist Robin Miller, to a crushing climax. It's a fusion of rock's raw power, classical depth, and avant-garde dissonance, crafting a mood that's both beautiful and brutal. The concept? No lyrics spell it out, but it's a sonic portrait of tension and collapse, mirroring the band's own implosion. Recording at Olympic Studios was a pressure cooker. Fripp was on the verge of quitting, and the trio pushed limits with guests like Mel Collins on sax. It peaked at number 45 in the UK, sold over 800,000 copies, and fueled the 1974 tour, rocking 30 arenas like NYC's Felt Forum to 100,000 fans. Critics adored it. NME dubbed it ferocious, and it's a sleeper hit that influenced everyone from Bowie to Tool. No awards, but endless acclaim. This is prog with teeth. But what if we swap grit for cosmic serenity? Let's take flight. Album number 5, Pink Floyd, The Dark Side of the Moon. Floyd's 1973 icon, The Dark Side of the Moon, shines bright. This is Prague's Everest. Gilmour's bluesy guitar floats over Wright's spacey synths, Waters' bass anchors the groove, and Nick Mason's drums tick like a heartbeat in breathe. It blends rock, jazz flourishes, and experimental soundscapes, cash registers, clocks, into a meditation on life, death, and madness. They crafted it at Abbey Road, using 16-track tech and months of tweaks. Waters even interviewed staff for the spoken bits. It's a juggernaut, #1 in the US, 45 million copies sold worldwide, and a 1973 to 75 tour rocking 200-plus arenas like Wembley to over 2 million fans. It nabbed a Grammy nod for engineering and sat on the Billboard charts for 741 weeks. It's a timeless titan, but what if 3 virtuosos built a sci-fi circus? Let's get wild. Album number 6, Rush, 2112. Number 6 is Rush's 1976 epic 2112. This prog metal hybrid pits Geddy Lee's piercing vocals and Alex Lifeson's searing riffs against Neil Peart's intricate drums in a 20-minute suite. It's rock with sci-fi spice, synthesizers hum, tempos shift, and the concept of a rebel defying a dystopian regime, inspired by Ayn Rand, unfolds with cinematic flair.
Watch the fireworks display, dancing fires on the beach, singing.
After Caress of Steel tanked, their label begged for hits, and Rush doubled down, recording at Toronto Sound Studios in a defiant rush. It worked. Number 61 in the US, 2 million copies sold, and the 1976-77 tour rocking 70 arenas, like Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens, to 300,000 fans. Critics warmed up late, but fans made it a legend. No awards, just a legacy. It's a rebel's anthem, but what if keyboard stole the show? Let's cut in. Album number 7, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Brain Salad Surgery. At number 7, Emerson, Lake and Palmer's 1973 stunner, Brain Salad Surgery, dazzles. Keith Emerson's keyboards, Moog, organ, piano, dance with classical bravado. Greg Lake's vocals soar, and Carl Palmer's drums thunder in Carnival 9, a sci-fi epic. It's rock meets Bach, with jazzy detours and a circus-like vibe, exploring man versus machine. Recording was done between 2 London studios, Olympic Studios and Advision Studios in Fitzrovia. Emerson tweaked synths endlessly, and H.R. Giger's freaky art got censored. It hit number 2 in the UK, sold 1.5 million copies, and rocked 80 arenas like Chicago Stadium to 400,000 fans in 73 to 74. Critics were mixed. NME loved The Flash, but it's a prog cornerstone. It's a virtuoso blast, but what if we climb a symphonic peak? Let's ascend. Album number 8, Yes, Close to the Edge. Number 8 is Yes's 1972 triumph, Close to the Edge. John Anderson's celestial vocals glide over Steve Howe's fiery guitar, Rick Wakeman's keyboards shimmer with classical grandeur, and Chris Squire's bass grooves deep. The 18-minute title track fuses rock, jazz, and orchestral sweeps into a spiritual quest inspired by Siddhartha. Recording at Advision was grueling. The band biographer described it as very stressful with moments of anarchy and disagreements. It hit number 4 in the UK, sold 1 million copies, and fueled a 1972-73 tour, rocking 50 arenas, like LA's Forum, to 250,000 fans. Critics hailed it, Sounds called it sublime, and it's a prog rock classic. No awards needed. It's pure transcendence, but what if England got quirky? Let's stroll on. Album number 9, Genesis, Selling England by the Pound. At number 9, Genesis 1973 gem, Selling England by the Pound, Charms. Peter Gabriel's theatrical voice weaves tales over Tony Banks's lush mellotron, Steve Hackett's guitar sings in Firth and Fifth, and Phil Collins' drums skip with finesse. It's rock with folk and classic nods. Lamenting a fading Britain. Recording at Island Studios, Gabriel pushed oddity. Think flower costumes live. It hit number 3 in the UK, sold 1.2 million copies, and rocked 60 arenas like NYC's Roxy to 200,000 fans in 73 to 74. Critics loved it. Melody Maker praised its craft, and it's a fan fave. It's whimsical genius. But what sparked it all? Let's rewind. Album number 10, King Crimson, In the Court of the Crimson King.
Politicians, you don't cry. Innocents wait with mouth on fire.
Closing at number 10 is King Crimson's 1969 debut, In the Court of the Crimson King. This is prog's genesis. Greg Lake's vocals and sax roar in 21st Century Schizoid Man. Fripp's guitar stings, and Michael Giles' drums jazz it up. Mellotrons cast a medieval spell, blending rock, jazz, and classical into gothic tapestry. Recording at Wessex, Fripp and Sinfield obsessed over every note. No singles, just vision. It hit number 5 in the UK, sold 1 million copies, and rocked 20 arenas like London's Hyde Park to 50,000 fans in 69 to 70.
joking. Run to
Critics cheered, the Times called it stunning, and it's prog's cornerstone. It's where it began, and what a way to end our ride. There you have it, Rock Warriors. 10 progressive rock albums that'll take you from Orwellian rage to medieval magic, from Animals to In the Court. These are the genre's souls. Which one's your vibe? Drop it in the comments. I'm pumped to hear. Love this? Smash that like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more epic music journeys. Thanks for rocking with me. See you next time.